Greetings.
Welcome to another episode of the Pod Ones podcast. I'm your host Luke with my co-host.
This is awful.
This is
Anyway,
the horrible intro.
This is horrible. Anyway, obviously I'm not Char. Whoops.
And then
I'm Alanis. What's up? I'm here today. If you don't know who I am, you haven't watched this podcast, obviously.
and Hereth.
Hi, I'm also obviously Hereth, man. I edit all Luke's shit.
And yes, today we're going to be talking about episodes 6 and 7 of season 1 of Rebels, called "Breaking Ranks and Out of the Darkness." Right? Maybe
Out of darkness.
Out of darkness.
Out of
Breaking
darkness.
Ranks.
Out of darkness. So let's just get some cleaning out here. So Char is not here. He is still as we would like to say, battling Ian. Is it
He's
Ian?
on Camino.
Ian.
He's on Camino.
Yes, he's on Camino.
He's on Camino.
He got recruited by the Republic to fight the Separatists, and he's on Camino. But
He's still in the
hopefully,
Clone Wars. His mind's
yeah.
like 5 years back. You know.
Yeah,
I respect it.
Yeah. So hopefully he is back soon. Things in Florida aren't particularly looking very good, but he just texted me and he said, "Hope the show goes well." So he's not dead. That's a plus right off the bat. At least he's not dead. But he's not here. So yeah, that's kind of where Char is. Hopefully he will be back on Sunday for House of Dragon. But yeah. But let's get let's bring in our guest. Oh wait, do we do the intro first? Oh my god, I'm so not used to doing this.
Yeah, you got to do the you.
All right, well,
everything's Char's not here. It's just
I'm just like so used to like not doing anything, and now here we go.
The Jedi Knights are all but destroyed, and yet your task is not complete, Inquisitor. The Emperor has foreseen a new threat rising against him. The Podwans Podcast.
God, I still love that.
That intro goes crazy. That intro goes just crazy.
The
I love it.
fact that you are using a saying that you said that you and your brother have
been using
how
all day.
dare you use it in my we are gonna have words later.
It's the new liminal.
Oh my god.
Yes, we got the new liminal.
The new liminal. Go crazy is the new liminal.
Is this the episode where Luke loses his mind?
Yep.
I think so. But we have one guest tonight. He was on for the first episode of Rebels. We have Escape Reality Films, or CJ.
Hey everybody.
How's it going, CJ?
Oh, I'm good. I'm excited to talk this episode and the other episode.
Yeah, it's I don't really know if these two episodes go together.
I don't think they do.
No,
but I don't think they do. But
I don't know how we
think
grouped them together.
I think I was just like,
Your mic
okay,
just
dude,
said,
just go ahead, go through here, or just sit. That's fine too. This is complete chaos. But like this is like, oh my god. Anyway,
to fulfill the schedule.
Yeah, like I was just like, I don't want to do 2 weeks of just single episodes because we're gonna be stuck on Rebels for like a year and a half if I don't do it this way.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, these seem to go together. Not even close. Not even close.
I thought Carter was the one that grouped episodes together by like storylines.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We can blame.
Well, thanks, Carter. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All Carter's fault.
All
we can blame
Carter's
Carter.
fault. Everything's Carter's
He's
fault.
supposed to be our Rebels expert, and he's gone.
Damn it, dog. What the hell are you doing?
He wants to say hi.
Well, he's not gonna say hi. He's really flustering me right now. Anyway, so we're gonna be talking about the episodes Breaking Ranks and Out of Darkness. But CJ, where can the good people follow you on social media?
So you can find me on TikTok at KaleBlockwood5. You can find me on YouTube at Escape Reality Films, where we do Escape Reality Star Wars talk on Saturdays. and you can find me on and Twitter, Escape Reality 94. That's really about it.
Awesome. Caleb, I mean CJ, whatever you want to be
Either
called,
way.
I guess.
Either way.
So we have to start off. You probably already know we do explain the arc or episode in 2 sentences or less. What you got this time?
Ooh. So let's see. How do I explain the arc considering this?
I mean, I
arc?
would do 2 different sentences per episode. I think that's a fair assessment.
So
here.
we're gonna give him 4 sentences,
sentences.
technically.
Yeah. technically
Okay.
4.
Okay, we'll give you 4 sentences, so a whole
Alright.
paragraph. Use it wisely.
Yeah. Ezra pretends to be recruit to steal data, finds rebel friends in the process.
Okay,
And
a good
that's
one.
the first one. Chopper fucks up the ship. Hera and Sabine get trapped on Moon World.
Okay. Alanis, because I usually go Char next. Then so since you are Char today.
I'm gonna say
Oh God.
For-
I'm just like literally already thinking like, oh God.
It's already
a case of missing identity leads to a lot of paperwork. Technically works.
yes.
And it's a sentence.
It's a single sentence. Yeah.
Did you like how I said that he gets a paragraph because 4 sentences equal a paragraph?
Well, it's technically 5 sentences.
Yeah.
God damn
I
it!
wasn't gonna
damn it!
nitpick you.
I wasn't gonna say it either.
gonna say anything. I didn't want to be that guy. But you brought that one on yourself.
Damn
true.
it! And I was so confident when I said it.
You
too.
were, and I didn't want to break your heart.
That's what-
I
yeah,
really didn't want to.
Okay, then what about the next episode?
I feel like this one's not gonna be as good. I'm gonna go with emo teenager and wine mom have a heart-to-heart Hallmark moment.
That's actually good. That's
Yeah, I
actually
like
really
'em.
good. See, I like this little thing that we started doing. Thank you, Alanis.
You're welcome.
Hereth.
It wasn't Alanis you should be worried about. It's mine you should be worried about.
Oh Jesus
True.
Christ.
A teenager terrorist infiltrates the fascist empire to gain information.
Okay.
Solid.
Solid.
Second one is whiny teenager gets mad at mom for not telling her everything.
Ooh.
Okay, that's very
Yeah.
That's a really
very-
good one.
That's a good one, but that's very vanilla. Very vanilla, you know?
But the
Mhm.
episode's very vanilla.
So I'm gonna say I'm gonna go the second episode first because I got a funny one for the second one. I have no idea what I'm gonna do for the first one. Emo teen screams loudly at mom while driving, breaks car down.
That's 2 sentences.
That's 2. Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, then there. That works. I guess. I don't know. And then the first one, Gen Z kid goes in and helps other Gen Z kids escape. I don't know. That was just really bad. Both of those were just really.
But
really
you know what? You
bad.
gave it your best effort,
Mhm.
and that's all that
Are
we
you
ask
pitying
for
me right
here.
now? Are
at
you
the
pitying me
Are we,
right
about
now?
to, are we about to get English teacher Alanis giving grades to
No.
our
No.
summaries of the episodes?
You all did really, really great, and I'm loving the effort and engagement that
Oh
I'm
my
seeing
God.
in the room
Stop
today.
it. I don't stop.
That's a
Stop.
C-level response.
Stop patronizing me.
We're getting
please. I would really
Cs.
appreciate that.
We're all getting C's, boys.
Hey, but C's get degrees. No
That is
matter
true.
what Atlanta
Yeah.
says, C's do get degrees.
I
So
mean,
did-
that is the
yeah.
truth.
Absolutely the truth. So think don't overexceed. Be just a regular Joe. Get a C.
Oh my
Just
God.
kidding. Go above and beyond. Anyway, now we're gonna get into the story of both episodes, which is my thing. All right, you might be wondering, Luke, why are these 2 episodes put together? They don't go together at all. And to that I say chaos, because I don't care. So the way we have this set up is that I have 2 questions for each episode. All right. And this is just going to be open discussion. Whoever wants to answer is good. So we're going to touch on the first episode, which is called Breaking Ranks. In the first episode, we see Ezra on his first solo mission with the Ghost crew. My question is do you think he is successful in the mission because he has spent so much time on his own after losing his family, or is it just sheer luck that he manages to get through that whole scenario?
I think because he's stronger in the Force.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No other elaboration on that, co-host?
Oh, me?
Yeah, well, you are the co-host.
It's very hard to tell which person you're directing to.
Yeah, because
Um,
am I not a co-host, Luke? Am I
You
the
are.
third?
You are. You're like the third co-host, though. So now I'm gonna be like
That sounds so mean.
Is it wrong
third
though?
wheeling?
Yeah,
Sounds
I mean,
so mean.
we're going in order. It's 1, 2, 3.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm always the third.
Factual.
It's just how it works. I'm just always in the basement editing.
Oh, hey, you're getting credit, and I like it.
Yeah.
There you go. Thanks, Brandon. I mean, I shouldn't be saying thanks. It's actually Hereth's hard work, and Hereth does do a really good job. So
I mean,
Harris kills it.
if you like my hard work, go check out Twitter.
yes, go
Something
check out
crazy.
the Twitter. Go check. Actually, if at the end of the episode, I might just.
I wouldn't play it. No, copyright
Damn it.
also one,
Oh, yeah, that's. a good
Oh,
point.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
good
also
point.
violence.
Oh yeah, true. Never mind.
go to
Um,
Twitter.
Yeah, go to Twitter. CJ, what do you think?
I think it comes down to the teamwork in this case, because while he could have just gotten the plans and got out, he almost fumbles it right off the
Yes.
bat. Like, if it wasn't for Zaire going, hey, there's a sensor there, he would have fudged the whole thing immediately.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I think like the only way he's not able to do that, in the way you said that is that he is using teamwork, and he's able to do that because he is now with the Ghost crew,
Mhm.
and it's perfect because he's like starting to learn. You can just see the character development of him being the street rat that he was when we first see him in the first episode, to where he's actually using what he's learned from Kanan, Hera, Zeb, Sabine, and like putting it into motion and getting people to follow him, which is
Yeah.
very, very important. But
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to, is he's learned how to work with others, because before, like you said, just had to survive on his own, but now he knows how, and so it's not as big of an issue for him to work with Zaire and Jai.
no, yeah, absolutely. Hereth, what are your thoughts?
My brain's honestly blank on this because I was just like,
There
I
you
was-
go. Hey, that's
No.
perfect. Hey, at least you're honest and you said,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know, instead of bullshitting. Because you know what? As a teacher, Alanis, don't you like somebody that's honest?
Hell yeah.
You know what? I'll
Do
be
you
100%
though?
honest.
No,
though.
but here's the thing. Like, as a teacher, would you rather somebody try to make up a like the craziest answer, and then you just be like, no, that's incorrect? You weren't paying
Honestly, it
attention.
depends on my mood. Sometimes I do enjoy the chaos, but other times I'm like, bestie, we got a lot to do today.
That's
So,
fair.
I mean,
depends.
I'll be 100% honest. There has been times on Pod Ones where I just completely BS an answer out of my ass.
But if you do it well, then no one has to know.
Yeah, exactly. Don't give away your secrets, Hereth. What are you doing?
My favorite time was during season 1 of Clone Wars when I didn't even watch the episode.
Yeah,
and I
no
just
shit.
BS'd an entire
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. It was the episode where they go to what planet is?
It
I don't
was
even remember
the
planet.
Rex one, like during the snow in season 1, and it was
Oh
also
yeah, it was
Hidden
the
Enemy.
the Pantorans.
There was
Yeah,
also
the
2 episodes
Pantoran
that didn't go together.
Yeah, man, just keeping the trend alive. Putting 2 episodes that
It's a
have no business
brand.
being
I
together.
love it. It's a brand.
You know, we just say fuck it sometimes.
The chaos.
You know? Hey.
It works.
But like, yeah, I think like you said, CJ. It is very important that he is actively using those skills that he is learning. I will be the first one to say that I don't particularly like Ezra's character, but I feel like I'm coming around to him now doing this rewatch because he's not as annoying as I remember him being. And like he's starting to grow on me. Kid's starting to grow on me. I will say that. Also in this episode, we see the process of how some candidates become part of the Inquisitorius. Do we think that we have seen or will ever see an Inquisitor that started at the Imperial Academy and went all the way through?
No.
Okay, why?
From what I got from the episode, it didn't seem like that was the actual end goal. It seemed more or less that they were gonna test them and kill them. Yeah, like
Mhm.
it was more of a on the 1% chance you can be useful, but actually we're just gonna see how much like midichlorians you actually have, and then off you if you're not useful. I don't think we're ever gonna see a cadet. I think it would be interesting though if we did get like a short story or like a novella, even like a comic about like a cadet who thought and bought into this idea of becoming an inquisitor to then
So
get
it
killed
could
at
have
the
been
end.
could have been like Jay or
Yeah,
Jai.
but if he stayed in and then got
Yeah, stay in
killed.
the period. Yeah, stay in the guy.
Yeah, like that would be a story that I would love to see, but I don't think there's ever been a cadet that went all the way through.
I mean, I could see it like being like a myth and fable story, like from like George
Yeah.
Mann, because I know he did like, the myth and fable
Mhm.
series for Star Wars, and there are several Inquisitor stories. I could see that being one of them. For that,
That'd
like,
be interesting.
like
I think
short story
I think
series.
I think it is interesting though if you think about it. Like having like a cadet be force sensitive. They find he or she in the process of them being a cadet, and they go up and they get stronger and stronger and stronger, and then they end up becoming an inquisitor. I think that would be a great story to tell in either canon. Well, yeah, in canon. Maybe like a certain point of view or something. I don't know.
Like I
CJ,
said,
no, go ahead, Hereth.
no, like I said, like, it could be a myth and legend story, which is like canon adjacent, but not really canon, but it's kind
Yeah.
of canon.
It's story within the canonicity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've never seen one that comes from the academy, but we do actually know what happens to them, to the ones that they believe go to that academy, because their story is continued in these books right here. I've got.
How many of
'cause
those?
There are four. They're called
Oh.
the Servants of the Empire series, and they're all from Zare's perspective. And the second book is actually an adaptation of this episode that we watched.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
so the rest of the books, though, are Zare's journey looking for his sister, who he mentions in the episode that was taken by the Inquisitors. So the Inquisitors do take them for training, but we don't really know how that training works, because Zare's taken to he tries to fake having the Force, but it doesn't work out. Instead, he gets sent to a different academy. He gets sent actually to the one run by think it's Hux's dad.
Oh,
Brendel
Brendel
Hux?
Hux?
Yeah,
Hey, Jinx, you owe me a soda.
because he's starting to test out his little theory of we should, brainwash them while they're young rather than cloning or recruitment,
Yep.
regular recruitment.
Which works out for a while,
Yeah.
and then they get blown up again. Bozo.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And so, there's a little bit of tie in there. And so I think they do take them. We just haven't seen them. And I think some fail, some succeed, because, if you're just taking random kids that weren't Jedi beforehand, some of them are going to be able to handle the training, and some will just fail. And by fail, I mean die, because that's just the way that the Empire works.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, do you think if someone like only had like a sliver of force sensitivity, they'd let them go, or do you think everyone's getting killed? It's pass or fail, and fail.
I think
is
it's
death.
I think it's pass or
Pass,
fail,
fail.
because
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing that Ezra got Jai out of there, because I don't think he was passing.
He was failing 110%.
Yeah. That boy was gonna get got real quick.
It may have been Dante Bosco, but he was no Zuko in this show.
That's true. I also love how like excited the Grand Inquisitor gets when he's like, "I know this kid. I found him multiple times." Just like the way he gets so excited about it.
Yeah, I'm just like
He's just like,
He's
how'd
like,
you
this
guys?
is the Padawan.
Yeah, He's
This
like,
is
how'd
the
you guys not
one."
recognize this guy? You guys have run into him on the street multiple times.
It's like he's like, oh, he used a different alias. Usually he uses Jabba the Hutt. Yeah.
Orlando Calrissian.
I mean, Cassian's
yeah.
right though. If you just walk in like you belong, they don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
That's very
Cassian had
very-
it on lock.
Yeah, Cassian Andor.
Cassian
Andor.
Cassian Andor.
It's that like scratches an itch in my brain how he says it.
Mhm.
like this Cassian Andor.
And there's just something about it. I love
You're
it.
welcome. Now I'm gonna do this whenever
Making that my
Okay.
ringtone. Making that my
Yeah,
ringtone.
Cassian
Wow.
Andor.
Wow, wow.
Is it gonna be me? Is it gonna be me saying it, or is it gonna
No.
be the? I thought mine was really good though.
It was really good, but it's not him.
I mean, I can never be Skarsgård. I can never be him.
Any of the Skarsgårds.
Yeah, none of them actually. But yeah, like I said, I think it would be an interesting thing to see, like actual story, because I mean, we know where most of the Inquisitors come from. They're lost Jedi, or they're younglings. In Reva's case, they're younglings from the temple that have been corrupted. So like seeing a plain Jane cadet get force sensitivity, have like the slightest of force sensitivity, and then work their way up through the Inquisitorius would be fascinating. But that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. Who knows?
I've said this so many times, Brandon. You don't know. You don't know.
It's no, this is a like 6-year-old fucking Amazon USB.
Eventually,
garbage microphone.
eventually, when I move, I'll get another Shure and show her thing will be up.
Yeah, it's like if I move the wire like 1/2 inch,
Yeah,
this whole
don't-
thing fries.
yeah, don't.
The
But no,
whole
you
thing
could-
fries.
You could see it like here. It's like instead of talking here, you talk there. It's a side address.
Yeah, but if I would have to like literally move my entire body.
You'd
It's
be
a
like,
whole mess.
Whoa!
It's a
Yeah.
whole mess.
Yeah,
If anyone would like to Venmo me, though, let me know. Oh, Alanis on Venmo are
Oh.
always open.
oh my god,
Always open.
watch listeners actually send money to
I
you.
would die. I would
That would
die.
be-
The
that'd be
Alanis gets all the
hilarious.
donations before us. That'd be the funniest shit ever.
Now I got a Christmas gift idea.
Mike's
That
for
would
everybody.
actually be really useful.
That would be very useful, actually.
Okay, well, we're gonna table that for another discussion. Yeah, he hasn't.
Yeah.
Hey, like Pep, he means it in a nice way, like,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of like that with our reactions now, ever since a certain episode of Rings of Power really just made things tough. Now I do like 30-minute before. Hey, I need you 30 minutes before. Get in here.
Get your
Oh,
mic working.
Jesus.
Don't
Yeah.
bleed the audio.
Yeah. Shows up.
Nine.
I
I'd
will.
have a whole setup. I would get that fancy mic stand. I'd get like an actual ring light and not like the 8 lamps that I have very precariously perched at me at the moment.
It is
I'd
quite.
ball.
It
I'd
is.
ball.
It
I
is
get
quite-
headphones that aren't my brother's.
That actually have a mic built into it.
Yeah,
Literally,
these are
I have-
literally my
I-
brothers.
I
take
have
them
the-
every time I podcast.
I have the extra headset. I should just give you that.
That would save me money. You are correct.
I love how
I
we're
don't
just
know
learning
why I'm
things.
just like-
They're not
I
rebels or
can't-
whatever,
I
and I'm
can't
here
even
for
believe
You
it.
guys
that I'm
also want to
pissed
know
now.
about my bad MacBook?
Yeah.
No, it's not as bad. It's not as bad anymore.
Yeah, it's the whole bottom
Oh.
cracked, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that did happen
Yeah.
though. Choco did say donations to Meeks for her cosplay.
Oh, I
my
love that.
God.
I love
that would-
Meeks. I miss Meeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to get her on for Rebels, but she's so darn busy.
I know. I love her.
But anyway, now on to the next episode, which has nothing to do with the last episode.
Blame
I
Carter.
have to keep saying that. So we are on the Out of the Darkness. Basically, this episode is just like we kind of explained. Everybody kind of explained the overarching thing through this episode is Sabine, which is interesting to me because it's like when we first see Sabine, she's one of the biggest team players. We don't see her waver very much and have that distrust. So to see this episode and see her be like, I'm in the same position that I was with the Empire. I'm either gonna cut and run or we're gonna fix this. And the way that she fixes it is by getting on Hera's case and getting her to go on this mission to meet Fulcrum. So like my first question is in the second episode, which has nothing to do with the first one, and I'm going to keep saying that because it's very, very true now. We see Sabine become very weary and untrustful of the crew, specifically Hera, for not filling her in on what's going on with Fulcrum. Do you think it's her mistrust? Do you think her mistrust is only from her past experiences with the Empire, or do we think it goes deeper than that?
I think she's a teenage girl. Like I yes, I think she has a horrifically traumatic childhood and, you know, a lot of deep set trust issues with like her own family that definitely bleeds into the Ghost True. But I think at the end of the day, like, she's a teenage girl. She is in a situation where she feels overwhelmed and she kind of lashes out because of it. I don't think it's like an inherent distrust of those around her. I think it's almost like a trauma response of her being like, I don't know how to handle not having all the information because my whole life I've always had to carry the burden of everything.
You know who else sounds like that?
Moving on.
Ah!
Moving on.
Boom, roasted. Anyway,
Got him.
CJ, your thoughts.
I definitely agree with you. I think it has to do with the trauma of everything. Like it's not just one thing or another. And we learn how deep that trauma goes when we get to season 4 and we find out what she did for the Empire.
Mhm.
Because what she did was not great, and it definitely would affect you if you realize that you did this thing. And so it makes sense that she's very reluctant to want to just do something without being told what the end game is.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
and so she switched sides because of that. And so for the new side to be exactly like the old side to her, it's gonna take a little bit to trust that. But I think this episode goes a long way to kind of getting trust on both sides. Yeah, emotional damage.
Yeah, very much
Yeah.
emotional damage.
Damage.
We gotta, dude. Honestly, I'm thinking here, Hereth. We can pull out clips. We should
Mhm.
make that a clip. Just have it up so that we can throw it out. Just like how Brandon uses because of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. Hereth, your thoughts before I give mine.
No, I mean, like, you guys are killing it with the descriptions of like that. Of just like, again, it just forms. I honestly kind of disagree with Alanis. I still think yes, she's just being a teenager. Yes, she's still dealing with emotions, but I also think it does come from a very traumatic place, and she just doesn't know how to deal with it and how to deal with this information. Because what I love about this episode is you can see both sides of the coin of Hera being like, I don't want you getting captured and tortured, because if you get captured and tortured, you're going to give up the information, and no one's themselves when that happens. And I
Yeah,
love
and-
Sabine's side of it. Like, I don't want to get put back in that place where I don't know everything.
Yeah, and the capture and torture thing has nothing to do with like, because she points it out. She's like, it's not because you're not strong. It's because the Empire has tactics that they will figure things out no matter what.
No, yeah, and absolutely, and that's a great segue. Thanks, Hereth, for doing that. It's almost like you knew I was going to ask that next question.
Wow, it's almost like I was with you when you wrote the questions.
I know, right? During their mission, Hera does state that she doesn't tell the crew specific details about missions, because if the Empire captures them, they won't be able to give out any details. Do we think that this is a practice used by all rebel cells or just the Ghost crew?
Oh, absolutely all, because we've seen the tactics that Saul uses to get information, and if Saul uses those tactics to get information, he knows the Empire does worse. And so I would not doubt that this is the only rebel cell to be like, oh no, we shut things down. We don't we compartmentalize.
If they
Yeah.
were the only rebel cell that did that, the Empire would probably still be around.
That's fair. Man, I'm making these questions too
I
easy.
mean,
to
I put it
answer.
as a joke on the descriptions, and I know I was making the joke, but I was not thinking about it until you said it. We saw it in this week's episode of Andor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, literally.
Mhm.
And it's kind of a good segue because Andor is all the events in Andor are happening around this same time.
Yes, near
Yeah.
Again.
simultaneously.
Again, I am a fucking genius. I am amazing. Like literally, I didn't even plan it like this, but it just so happens to coincide with each other. So this is just fantastic. But it's just because I mean, just talking about Andor, the fact that Luthen drops off Cassian and he's like, "This is how it's gonna go. These are the details that you need to know. This is what he does."
Lie to your
Now-
own crew.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Do whatever
Why-
is necessary to get him in there.
Yeah. Real quick before we go to Alanis / Chars,
Mhm.
The bestie
Lord.
segment.
the
The
bestie,
bestie
segment.
section.
I would like to kind of talk a little bit about Andor and what your guys' thoughts are of people actually thinking that Cassian is the villain of the show.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I know. It's like, do you guys
It's-
watch media? Do you
it's-
understand that this guy, like, the thing is that everybody wants to put, and this is with House of the Dragon as well.
Mhm.
Like, these two scenarios are very closely together because these situations that these characters are in, it's all gray.
Mhm.
These characters are gray. They're not. There's no right. There's no wrong. I mean, there is right and wrong, but it's more complex than that in both of these shows. And I don't get. I don't know how you can stand on a hill and say Cassian Andor is the villain.
So for me, it's the Cyril Karn issue because
I love him.
there are certain fans
love
though
him.
and there's nothing wrong with liking him, but there's certain fans that are like, I relate to him so much that he must be the good guy, and it's the Homelander effect from Voice.
Yeah.
Like, I relate to him, so therefore he must not be the bad guy. No, you can still relate to him and have relatable issues with a character, and they're still a bad character. Like, well,
Mhm.
bad person. I shouldn't say bad character. He's a well-written character. Bad person.
Yeah.
And that's Cyril. He's a well-written character to the point that you start to question it, but don't get it confused.
Like specifically Daemon Targaryen. We're not
Yeah.
supposed to be rooting for him,
Yeah.
but he's
Like-
fucking cool.
Yeah. Like you can still relate to somebody like Daemon and still
Yeah.
find relatable moments, but don't start thinking, oh, these relatable moments make him good. No.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
Like I commented on M's video. Wow, the person that wants to be a fascist is totally the secret protagonist and is definitely not the villain of the show.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Like it's just it just becomes laughable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now
And
it's
like
not
Cyril,
you can't even
Cyril
take
can still have a turnaround moment. We've got another season.
which M pointed this out during I think the later part of our reaction. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Mhm.
But like she was talking about how there could be a possible bait and switch with either Deidre defecting or
I'm saying
Cyril.
Deidre.
I'm
You
saying
think
Cyril.
so?
I think
I'm
they're
saying
doing-
Deidre.
I think they're doing opposite Lost Stars. I think they'll
Yeah.
flip it.
I'm saying
I'd be
Deidre.
interested in it.
Really? Well, okay. So give me a scenario of like what causes her to turn against the Empire, because she seems pretty gun ho for it right now.
My guess is she's going to start digging and digging and digging and digging, trying to like prove her point, and then she's gonna start uncovering things, and she's gonna have a breakdown and defect. I think with Karn, what's going to happen is him being basically kicked out is going to ultra radicalize him. Like I'm talking like extreme, like these people is what we have to get out of the Empire rather than I don't want to be a part of it. He still loves the Empire so much that he wants to go back in, but worse.
Mhm.
That's my prediction. And also because, Callus was blonde, Deidre's blonde.
Yeah.
I think there's like a running theme.
It's
Brandon
the
made
white.
a good.
It's the
Brandon
white.
made a good point in the chat, by the way, about.
Yep. He says Star Wars is giving us a right and wrong despite the gray. Unfortunately, some people's politics align with the Emperor. Yeah, very much so. They don't want to see themselves as the bad guy. Cognitive dissonance. Yes, that is very true. And I feel like it is kind of our job as not job. It's tough to not call out toxicity like that and just be like you're wrong because it's a tough one. But no,
I was
But
gonna
also, I think people need to remember that, like, yes, media is a depiction of our real life, but like, Star Wars is not real. So, like, if someone says, like, "Oh my god, like, I love Karn," and like
There's
they
nothing
love
wrong
them,
with that.
it doesn't mean that like they're a bad person.
Yeah.
Like
They're not-
it doesn't like correlate to them being like awful in real life. And I think a lot of the times people don't know where to separate media and real
Yeah.
life. Because of course there
Yes.
are important themes in media, but then people just like go all in and just come up with some insane behavior in regard to like some of their takes.
Yep.
Also, I was gonna say on that point as well. This is just more of a. I think more House of Dragons also works for Andor. I think I'm gonna just kind of pile on what CJ said on top of that.
Yeah.
If you like a character, you don't need to rationalize everything they do to make
Yeah.
you like the character, to make him like, oh, this character is good, so I have to like them. Like, no, you could just be like, this character's a fucked up person, but I like them. You don't have to
Yeah.
make like some BS excuse defending them.
I appreciate that, brother-in-law. Appreciate that. I don't know the word, but I saw it and I read it, so therefore.
Well, you spelt it right.
Can you? It's.
I didn't have to
Like,
spell.
we
I didn't
share
have
it
to.
in
grade.
I
It's
didn't
just
have to
pronounced it
spell it. I
correctly.
pronounced it
Pronounced it
correctly.
correctly.
I've heard
I
that
was
word
looking at two
before.
different
That is a
ones.
big. That's a big word.
It's a
I
big-
will say
yeah.
that it's a
Two
big
big
word.
words.
Two big
Breeze.
words. Cognitive is like remembering things. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
See, hey,
Okay.
dummy is learning.
So what's the
Um,
second word mean?
I'm like Herman Munster in this way, and you are like you're like Lily.
So what's the second word mean?
Dissonance. It's like
Let's look at how
separation. It's
Brandon
distance.
used it
It's
in a
distance.
sentence.
It's like distance, right? Like dissonance. That's or am I
Nope.
completely wrong? Okay, well, we're gonna move on to the next segment because I don't feel like answering this for the next.
Wait.
10
Can I make one more joke before we move on to the next segment?
Yes, go
It
ahead.
goes back to the Tolkien joke. You can pronounce all these Tolkien names, but you can't explain to us cognitive dissonance.
Anyway, Galadriel.
Do I get a fun little intro?
Yes, you do. You get charged.
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
so excited.
Now it's time to get into the lore.
Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force.
Very Empire-esque, you know.
I love it, which is perfect for what I'm going to talk about.
Oh God, here we go.
So of course, every time you have me on for Rebels, I do have to push my agenda.
Mhm.
So anyway, obviously episode 1, we see them at the academy for the young Imperials on Lothal. Now, this academy is like a junior academy, so you're just there for a year. That's it. And if you do really well, you can go on to like a specialized version, so like basically a college. Or you just get sent in the random military. Like they're just like, yeah, you're good enough. Bye. So like people like Agent Callus, who is in this episode for a grand total of 3 minutes and 7 seconds.
Oh my god!
I'm glad you got that down to a stopwatch.
Yeah.
I
The
do.
Callus
It's like
counter.
she literally does. I
Yeah.
shit you not.
Oh,
No,
I
whenever we
calculated
wa-
the entire time he's in the series, 1 hour 32 minutes and I believe 7 seconds, something like that, 8 seconds. I have like a running list.
Put her on the spot, Brandon.
It's honestly, I can feel the Callus mention in Andor in my bones. I have a really good feeling about it.
It's
I
the
have a
Thrallus
little-
agenda.
Yeah, Callus agenda. The Thrawn
Thrallus.
agenda as we get closer to Ahsoka. But I mean, anyway, so with these specialized academies, Agent Callus obviously went to the Royal Imperial Academy. He did graduate first. Thrawn graduated third. Just saying. Anyway,
Thrawn also wasn't good at politics, which you do
and
need
that is
in the academy.
and that is Agent Callus's fault. How he worked and he did his skills.
He gatekept, he girl boss, and he
So-
gaslit.
He
so
gaslit, he
expect-
gatekeeped, and he girl bossed. That's why I love him. So anyway, basically, for a lot of people who were in the basic, Imperial Army, they got 1 year of training, and that training, wasn't as probably rigorous as before. So do we think that this training was like practical? Do you think that a lot of the failings within the Empire kind of started at this lackadaisical getting bodies in rather than like quantity over quality kind of active training?
I think there was a bit of quantity over quality. I mean, so once again, I'm going to use my knowledge from the books because I didn't reread them recently, but I do remember a lot of the information. And Oleg is that bully that we see in the first episode. There's a lot of Oleg, and he is definitely a quantity over quality type character where they brought him in because they were like, oh, you're tough, you're a kid, we'll bring you in. We need more cadets. And he only really gets promoted because he's tough, not because he's efficient. But that's just the Empire. If you can bully somebody enough, then we'll keep you around until you're useless to us.
Yep. I agree, and this is also going to lead into my we haven't had this in a while. Every single time I mention Obi-Wan Kenobi. Cuz I mean, look at episode 4. There's your answer on what the Empire is really about. Literally, they are the most useless, cheapest fucking organization in the entire galaxy. Yes, did they spend a lot of money on a stupid Death Star? Absolutely. He actually too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, if we all followed Thrawn's advice,
Yeah.
Thrawn called it out. Thrawn said it was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they also didn't listen to him.
Well, yeah,
Did they ever listen to Thrawn? That's the real question.
never.
I
mean,
sort
actually, yeah,
of.
they kind of did.
Sort
Unless
of,
your name is
yes.
Emperor Palpatine.
No, Palpatine-
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I have to
okay,
say
yeah.
though, Thrawn did show up at his doorstep and say, "Give me a job,"
That's
and
true.
he did. He
Yeah.
gave him a job.
He did. This is
That
very
was very nice of
So-
him. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah, he's just like, how could you deny that pretty face? You can't.
And
I
that
knew
was
you-
probably,
I-
and that was long hair Thrawn too. So
Oh, feral Thrawn. If we get that shot in Ahsoka, I'm ascending,
then he-
evaporating.
And then
you're not getting it.
and then he pulled the
Just to spite me, you are not getting it.
then he pulled the best Palpatine card of, "Hi, I knew your bestie, Anakin Skywalker."
yeah.
Which in a way, like Palpatine shouldn't be like threatened by that,
No.
or even like he should be like, okay, cool, it's a Jedi. He's
I
no
think
longer alive.
Palpatine was more like, this dude's got the balls to walk into my home and demand
Well, yeah,
a job.
Yeah.
I
think-
respect it.
I think he's I that's actually probably true. Palpatine's like just sitting here. He's like, okay, his racist ass is like, oh great, an alien. This is gonna go well.
I think really though, where the trouble for the Empire is during this era is while he's efficient, it's Tarkin. I mean, Bad Batch kind of starts to show us the kind of weak spots of Tarkin, and then we see him in Rebels as well. And
Because I think Tarkin is at his peak. Even in Tarkin he kind of struggles.
yeah, like, and he's not bad or anything. He's just inefficient at certain things, and he's bad at noticing his own blind spots, like a lot of
Mhm.
people are. But nobody will call him out because it's Tarkin.
Yeah. He's literally the highest rank. Wait, is he the highest ranking official in the
He's-
military?
He isn't, and he is because he's a
Yeah.
Moff.
I was
The
because a
Moff-
Moff isn't a military
Which
title.
isn't a military rank, but they still like
Give
the
him
Empire is
the-
so confusing about how they decide to.
Yeah. That's why I was like, we should have it be Grand Moff, and they're like, that doesn't exist in the military, and I'm like, then why the fuck do they have it?
But I
'Cause-
like the
Because it's a
admiral for
governor,
an
it's a
admiral.
governorship, but everybody respects him anyways. It's weird.
That's so strange. The Empire's so fucking dumb, to be honest. Not even gonna lie, it's so fucking dumb.
It is.
But like, literally, like the whole point, like getting back to like
Mhm.
the training, literally, how like literally anybody is going to fail that freaking like all those obstacle courses. Like who in their right mind is going to succeed at that is not as force sensitive? I mean,
Well,
Oleg
like
does it once.
that's their prerogative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They want to
him
sniff them
fail.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's
and
true.
and we do see that some people succeed. It's just you're not going to be first all the time.
No, and I just like it fits so well though because like the stormtroopers suck at shooting. They have large numbers, so they kind of took what the separatists were doing and maximized it, but made it even worse.
I
Yeah.
mean, they said it during the like if you watch there was like when they were releasing Rebels, they released like little shorts on YouTube next to it.
Mhm.
Pablo Hidalgo said it during the episode. These aren't clone troopers. These are recruits that are doing a job. They're not gonna be like. It's not like the clone troopers where they're bred for combat their entire
Yeah.
life and all they know
Yeah.
is war, battle, and shooting. These are ordinary people that are just picked up after the fall and just be like, "Hi, can you shoot a gun?
Yeah,
Hi, can
pretty
you
much.
do a jump?"
Literally.
That's why Hux is planning to kidnap children, and he's
Yeah.
working on it right now.
Yeah,
Hux
fucker.
Senior.
Brando fucking Hux.
Yeah,
What
Brindle.
a douche. What a douchebag. Anyway, but like, I also kind of think it's funny. Not really funny, but it's like you see the troopers that they have in Bad Batch, and then you see the cadets, and it's like, wait, how did they get? How did they not get? Why did like if the Empire was smart, why didn't they just get mercenaries? Why didn't they just get mercenaries? To be
Trust.
honest?
Mhm.
Because the big thing within the Empire is loyalty, and that's like a huge part of like Callus's arc. Mercenaries aren't loyal. Same thing with like bounty hunters. They're loyal to credits, and sometimes credits run dry.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I mean-
I think they knew that they had to kind of brainwash and mold a new generation, to kind of instill the values both within the Empire and outside of it. Because
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, like these recruits hopefully will get to go home.
Yeah, Pep was making some points.
Yeah, General's answer to yeah.
My only
Aftermath
problem,
reference.
yeah,
That is
Yeah.
true, an aftermath reference. Nice job,
Yeah.
CJ.
my only problem though with Tarkin is that he goes beyond his own region. Like he tends to command outside of his space.
Yes.
Like he has his region that he is the Grand Moff of, but then he also has other regions that he's like, I'm not really in charge, but I'm gonna take charge here.
Well, and
'cause-
it's so funny because he does it because he has the favor of the Emperor. Like literally, if he didn't have the favor of the Emperor,
yeah, because he's
he
known him
wouldn't-
since Clone Wars.
yeah. Well, no, he's
even
known
before.
him before that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even before, yeah,
yeah. When
because
he
of
was
the Tarkin
a
novel, yeah.
yeah, when he was a like a he was a cadet. No, not a cadet. He was like
He
a
was official for the Republic. He was under why am I forgetting his name? The Jedi with the like one of his eyes gets slashed and he's like
no. Well, no. Even Peel. I'm talking in the Tarkin novel.
Mhm.
He meets him 20 years before even the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
"Oh, really?"
Yes,
Yeah.
he's known him
Mhm.
for years and years and years because
Yeah, I
he's
gotta
working
reread
with
Tarkin.
he's working with he's working he's working with the Republic, but it's like they're such a small they're trying it's like part of the military, but it's like smaller scale
Mhm.
forces. And that's
Yeah,
who he works for. I can't think of the
It's
exact
back
name
when
of
I
it.
think it's back when he was still like working with Iriadu forces.
Yes. Back when he was working with the Iriadu. But yeah. Sorry, Alanis. We kind of just
Yeah, we
derailed.
No, we were straight vibing.
Yes.
I loved it. But you mentioned Kenobi before. And I think there is a small lore thing that may or may not exist within this. So at the end again of the first episode, we have Jai Kel being like, "Okay, I'm out of the academy. You're sending me back to my mom, but how am I gonna hide from the Empire? Like, how are we gonna be safe?" And Hera is basically like, "Hey, we got you." So we saw in Kenobi the path, right? Do we think that is where, Hera dropped him off? Do you think that he could have, crossed paths with Haja, Quinlan? Do you think he kind of went through what we saw in Kenobi?
It's interesting. I think it definitely. I think it would make sense if the path is still around.
That's what I mean. Like, we don't know like the longevity
of it. Yeah.
Right.
That's the one question. But it's like, I would have to think that the rebellion would still have that. I still think the rebellion would be able to either finance it, or just they would give a little bit of effort to keeping the path alive, because they
Right.
would want Force sensitives in their corner if that's a possibility. And also, I think Mon Mothma, particularly, and also Bail, are going to see that as that we need to do this. This is the legacy of the Jedi. We need to keep it alive. We need to do everything in our power to keep Force sensitives from falling into the wrong hands.
Yeah.
And I feel like the path will either in Jedi Fallen Order, or there will be a novel made, or Reva will get her own show. I think we will get more on the path in the future, and see how it ties into the grand scheme of like the original trilogy. But yeah, I think that could definitely be.
So I know the only thing I knew for sure, because I was trying to remember, Jai does return at some point, but we don't ever learn what happened to him. So he could have gone down the path for all we know. But he also, I mean, I just know that at some point he does return helping the Lethal Resistance.
Good for him.
But I think the path makes sense as a like retroactively, oh, this is what he was up to, since they never tell us, so there's room for it. And it would make sense with the narrative that we're now getting in terms of Force sensitive characters and how they survive the Empire.
Yeah, absolutely. Hereth?
I'm just gonna make a Breaking Bad joke. Hereth just picks up the phone and is like, "Hi, I need a dust filter for a Hoover Max Extract 60 Pro. Can you pick this kid up and get him in the witness protection program, please? Get him a new name. I don't know what you have to do, but
Yeah.
just do it.
No,
Just
she
get moved
calls.
to
No,
Tatooine
yeah,
and just live a new life as a farmer."
yeah. She
Just
just
call-
calls. Yeah, just call Haja.
Yeah.
Haja's just like, oh, I have a great place for you, and it's like,
It'll
oh,
be 1,000
God.
credits.
We'll pick you up
Yeah.
at the most sketchy airport, and we're gonna just pick you up and just drive you to Tatooine, and just you're gonna live a new life.
No, I think it would be. I think Haja. Speaking of Haja, I think Haja will show up in Jedi Fallen, Jedi Survivor. I mean,
Yep.
I think he'll show up in Jedi Survivor because Kumail Nanjiani has done voiceover for Shadow of War. So it would make sense for him, and his character is, I think, alive at this point. Hopefully,
Well, I mean, Survivor's after Kenobi, to my knowledge, it's still the same year.
is
Yeah.
it really in the same year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the same year.
Okay, that's what I thought. So it's definitely, we get Quinlan, we get yeah. I mean, damn, that's just awesome. But yeah, I think it's more likely that that he went with the path, because I mean, now that we have that context, like, why not? It makes the most sense.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you can retroactively change that. There's no reason not to.
And you can definitely hear Kumail
Yep.
say that exact line. That's hilarious. But yeah. Hold on, we'll answer this one. Didn't take all those lightsabers with him. They would have slowed him down.
He couldn't carry the weight of that emotional baggage.
Yeah, that's
That too.
yeah.
I
He
think
was already
that too.
dealing with a lot.
He
Yeah.
wanted to be nice. He wanted to give a donation to wherever came in the path next. He just wanted to give him all the lightsabers.
Yeah.
You get a lightsaber.
You get a lightsaber. Oh,
Everyone gets a
man.
lightsaber.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Look under your seats. There's one there now.
Yeah.
New kyber crystals installed and everything with new switches.
Yeah, and they have the twist. You can activate it with the twist
Yeah.
now, and man.
And if you're really lucky, there's a light whip.
Somehow they just have a
yeah.
Nestor's lightsaber. It's just like
Yeah.
dusty as hell, and like it like stopped working. And you just like shake it like crazy to get it to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
It's like a shake weight. You gotta.
Oh man.
That's how you charge it. That's how you charge it.
Oh Jesus Christ. All right. Well, Alanis,
That's it.
and that is it for lore. Now,
To my
In my
yes.
experience, there's no such thing as
luck.
So, real quick before Hereth gets started, my brother-in-law texted me and said that my sister didn't know what cognitive dissonance is either. So great! I'm not the only dumb one. Awesome.
It's just a
Thank you,
Nebraska
Abby.
thing.
You still have time to take that back.
I
Still
don't.
have
I'm not
time.
taking that back.
All right. Well, I'll hold it against you.
Well,
All right, Hereth.
I could just not send you the ring style for tonight.
Don't hold.
I have the power
Don't.
here.
Go ahead.
Anyway, it's very similar to Alanis' question, but still kind of slightly twisted and different. Also, we will get on the Thrawn agenda again, I promise. It's going to happen. It's going to be inevitable. So, obviously, we see the training of cadets, more like you said, like more like a junior style training, more than anything. Obviously, we see it in Thrawn 2017 when Thrawn goes through the Imperial Academy. We see it in Lost Stars when Thane and Sienna go through the Imperial Academy. So, obviously, this is the first time we see it in canon, but still, I'm going to compare it to the other two because we have the other two, so why not? How do you feel like this compares to the other two and like its depiction of Imperial training for cadets?
I think it shows more of what we traditionally think military training is. Like the very like, sir, yes, sir, walking in the hallways, like being that almost like obedient, servant to your like CO. Whereas I think with like the Thrawn and Lost Stars depictions, it's more nuanced. We have like more of an emotional tie, where I think this is leaning a little bit closer to the physical toll, rather than so much on the emotional.
I also think it's also different because usually with Thrawn and with Lost Stars, we're seeing more of the higher up type of like officer training compared to like the grunt training. That's really, and so we're seeing somebody who's going through the, the hardcore boot camp style training versus somebody who's more, I'm learning the paperwork and the official rules and how to run things. Cause that's always, I mean, even with our military structure, we have officers and then we have regular military. Usually you have to go through both, but we don't tend to see that in Star Wars. Usually the officers just go straight to officer camp.
Yeah.
Luke?
Yes. What both of them said. I'm not even gonna try to.
I was
act
gonna
like
say
I was
you
even-
doing what I did earlier in the episode when
Oh,
when
yeah,
your
absolutely.
segment. It's
Two-
empty
two-
brain, nothing
Two
but
can
Thrawn.
play at this game. Two can play at this game.
Got it.
Don't worry, you didn't miss anything, Brandon. Just a whole bunch of nonsense.
What is new but Pod 1's nonsense persevering?
Yes. All right.
Anyway, moving on to the next episode, even though, like Luke said in the earlier episode, these
Doesn't
two
go
do not
together.
fucking go together. So we see Sabine and Hera arrive on the bases on Anaxis, and this is very interesting now, again, like just like this one, is we're watching this after the final season of Clone Wars where Alanis' favorite character, Crosshair, was on that base before it. Obviously, we see it in a really shitty state now. So I was gonna say, do you ever think we'll get like a short story, or maybe if they're ballsy, a full book or a comic about how this base just got invaded with bats, essentially?
I think if it were to happen, it would be almost depicted as like a flashback. Like, yeah, like I don't know if it would be like a full, like, endeavor, but I think it would be cool if, it was someone's perspective in some way, kind of looking back and describing it. So we do have a little bit more of those details. But I think if they were to do it, it would be like some like flashback style montage.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if we saw any hints of it in the Bad Batch season 2 trailer or not, but I don't think so. But I also wouldn't like. I would also not be surprised if flashbacks, but I would think that maybe if they want to lean into it, they could put it in Bad Batch season 2 and show us like have the Bad Batch somehow be involved with what goes down, and maybe it connects it to the rebellion and why it becomes a rebellion drop off site.
Yeah. Do we know for a fact that that's the same base?
Yes, it's modeled the same. It's the same entrance. And if you look it up on the StarWars.com trivia for this episode, it says Battle Station on Anaxis original location was supposed to be the unfinished arc for Bad Batch. They even say it in the description. Because remember,
Interesting.
StarWars.com was releasing the unfinished episode.
So they did
on
go
their
to
website.
So they did go to Anaxis then.
Mhm.
Yes. You even see
Why
a
did
Republic
I not
LCP
pick
going
that
to it.
up? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. But like it, yeah, I think that, well, and you also have to remember Rex knew of all of these all of these like hidden bases. We learn more about that in season 2. But like you could have a mission where Rex is like, "Hey, you need to go pick up the supplies that was left at this abandoned base on Anaxis," which, if I'm not mistaken, Anaxis is like in the outer rim.
Yes, because
Yeah.
it's during the
Outer
Outer
Rim?
Rim sieges.
Yeah, and it's like the outer rim is like one of the biggest areas throughout the entire galaxy, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like it's easy for them to have these misplaced bases.
I just
So it just makes sense.
imagine Luthien just shows up, just puts a crater here and be like, hey, Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor. Cassian Andor, I need you to go and connect with the Bad Batch.
And then he just like puts his wig on and goes and just hyperspaces the Coruscant.
Which, by the way, man's like that meme that everybody has of him just like looking like putting on the face. I'm
In
like,
the-
Oh, I
feel-
love it.
I feel that every single time I wake up. Like,
No,
my
I
life is
retweeted
just
one
like that.
before the episode of the podcast saying me emotionally crying before coming on the podcast, acting like nothing's wrong, and it's just like
Yes.
him with the wig, and it's like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that does happen quite often. It's like, why? But yeah, Hereth, do you have anything else?
No, I do not have anything else. Well, I guess it's time for my second segment, even though I technically shouldn't have second segments because Char is fighting Ian in a boxing match, and I don't think he's gonna win.
I really hope something that
Oh.
does not happen to Char, so that we're just like, oh god, we gotta cut
Char,
that.
we love you.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's the moment when we went from 7 viewers to 4 after that joke, Hereth. God damn it.
Well, also, just like Son of Dathomir, it's my segment now.
Okay.
3 interesting facts you didn't know about a certain Rebels arc up until now. Part 5, Breaking Ranks and Out of Darkness Edition. Fact 1. The training trails we see in Breaking Ranks were based on a lot of... my god, my words are not going together. It's hard with the the voice, Charlie.
Now you know. Now you. Yeah. It's
Mhm.
not fun. It's not
Karma.
fun.
It's karma's
It
a
is
bitch,
karma.
and it's paying off really
Karma.
great
Yeah,
right now.
karma for you saying that he was boxing Ian and he would lose. That's on you, man. That's
I'm-
on you.
I'm just continuing the bit. It's what you taught me.
Oh, we taught him too well. Anyway,
Yeah. Fact 1. The training trails that are seen in Breaking Ranks were based a lot on the traps that we've seen in the Kamino arc in Season 3 and the box in the Kenobi Undercover arc we see in Season 4. Fact 2. Breaking Ranks has a new detail about the E11. We see the obvious 2 modes of live fire, which are live fire and stun, but this episode introduces a third mode, which is a low-power sting blast. I mean, you can put that on screen. That is true.
you're not wrong.
Anyway, like I was saying, it's they added a new third mode, which is a sting blast, which is basically a reference to New Hope when Luke is training with the remote training device and it stings him with the blaster. Fact 3. This is the most important one. I want everyone to pay attention to this one very carefully. They canonize space waffles. Like, what else do you want from this fucking episode of Out of Darkness? They canonize space waffles. Come on.
Also,
Fuck you, Char. No pancakes.
also. All right, that's a good.
I'm a
statement.
waffle gal. I'm here for it.
I've got so I noticed this just because my stupid Tolkien brain goes to it.
It's
in the
not
second-
intentional, Luke. No.
No, it's probably not intentional, but I want to say it anyway.
Fuck you.
But okay, so Dave Filoni is a big Tolkien fan though, because he did do the whole like thing with Gandalf and Ahsoka when people were like
Mhm.
wondering if she had died or not.
Ahsoka the Grey, Ahsoka the Light.
I think it was intentional to show that these monsters can't that the whatever you want to call them can't go past a certain spot because of the light, which is very reminiscent of Tolkien explaining why the orcs can't walk out in sunlight at all either. So I found that kind of interesting. Found that a little, connecting. Go watch our reactions to Rings of Power.
You really had to get that in there.
Yes.
I remember you
Okay.
texted me this like, this should be your 3 interesting facts. I'm like, Luke, that's not intentional.
But it was a good try, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
Are we gonna give him a C for effort again?
Might as well. But let's get to ranking the episode. CJ. Wait, hold on. Not
That's not a
spoiler alert.
spoiler alert. Wow.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
CJ's going to pick out the ranking for this episode.
Ooh.
Actually, 2. 'cause we said 2 for one special.
Oh, yeah, that is too.
I would
Let's-
give Breaking Ranks Captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's good, and it gives us a little more of Ezra's character growth and the growth of the crew, but it's not the most outstanding episode. And even though it gave me more books to read and I like the books, it's not in the tops.
That's fair. I think it's a lieutenant, to be honest, or a lieutenant, as British folks like to call it.
Or your best character Luthien says.
Yeah, Luthen.
Yeah.
Luthien.
I might actually also turn it to a lieutenant because yeah.
Alanis?
I'm gonna go with Captain for both. Captain for both.
Yeah.
Because I love Rebels so much, I don't think in my heart I could rate anything lower than the Captain. But nothing crazy or significant that I think happened in these episodes. Like when you mentioned the titles to me, like they didn't ring a bell. And normally if, I can remember like a title of something, I'm like, oh, that's at least at, Admiral/Grand Admiral status already.
Hereth?
I would have to agree with Alanis. Captain for both.
See, I would give Out of Darkness Captain, but Breaking Ranks Lieutenant.
Yeah, that's kind
I
of
feel
what
like
I'm
that's
at.
fair. Though. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna give both of them. I'm gonna give one give episode 2 Captain and episode 1 Lieutenant. So
Is it like a lieutenant on the verge of becoming a captain?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
For me it is.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so as well. But that is going to be the end of this episode. CJ, where can the good people follow you?
So you can find me here on YouTube at Escape Reality Films, where we have Escape Reality Star Wars Talks live on Saturdays around 1:30 Central Time. And then we have my Twitter, which is Escape Reality 94, where I just tweet whatever's on my mind and retweet my friends. And then we have TikTok, which I need to get a little better on. I've been a little busy these past couple weeks, but that's Caleb Blockwood 5, where I just talk my Star Wars thoughts or show my dog off.
There you go. Hereth?
You can find me at Hereth Productions on TikTok, Instagram, Hereth_edits on Twitter, and you can find me here at the Pod Ones Podcast for our episodes on Rebels and Andor reactions.
And Alanis, where can the good people follow you? Since you should do the pointing thing. Please do the pointing thing that Char does.
You can follow me at I don't know how he does it.
Wait, no, he points at the name. He points at the
Like
name.
this.
No, babe. Like he points at his
Then
name on
name.
StreamYard.
This is where it is for me.
Go to the left.
This way.
Go to the left.
All the way to the left. All the way.
There
right
you go.
there.
There.
Well,
Right
it's,
there.
I have my thing mirrored. That's why. I don't like it when it's inverted. It makes me feel weird. Okay, so that's why I was so confused. Anyway, okay, here we go. You can follow me at Not a Kyber on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. You can listen to me over at Sith Face Podcast. anywhere that you listen to things. Our latest episode came out called Tuesday, called Pride and Third Degree Burns, where we made our own fan fiction. It's a reader X burnt Anakin. It's pretty funny. You should listen to it.
But I also do this every single time Alanis is on, especially for this episode for Ranking Ranks. You should follow her Twitter about Agent Callus and where he is.
I always forget my own agenda.
I always remind you!
I always forget my own agenda. It's because it's a part of me.
Yeah.
Yes, you can follow Is Callus Back on Twitter. We are on day 96 and I am going insane.
I don't know how to follow that one up, but
With some pizzazz.
you can follow. Well, you also forgot something else that you're involved with.
Oh, this teaching thing is so much.
No, not
We'll deal
not.
with
We're
those.
not talking about that. What else are
Okay.
you involved with on Sundays?
Oh, House of Dragon rewatch. Yeah, I'm there too.
Reaction.
Reaction, whatever.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You can follow us at the Pod Ones Podcast on TikTok, the Pod Ones Pod on Instagram, and Pod Ones Podcast on Twitter. If you guys would be so kind, like the stream, that would help us go a long way. And if you're new here, welcome. Go check out some of our content for Lord of the Rings, House of Dragon, and Andor. And if you want to go back and watch Kenobi reactions and everything, that'd be great too.
Please have a comment.
All right, here we go. Come on, merchant. I hate you. I hate you right now, Pep.
I mean, that is literally Luke.
Okay, just because he looks like me doesn't mean I am that person, okay? All right.
I remember Char in the reaction on Andor was like, that looks like Luke. I'm like, no, that's not Luke. Luke's in Rings of Power. Get it right, Char.
But that's going to be it. On to the next one for Light and for Life.
For the Republic.
We are all the Republic.
Whatever.
This episode is fucking chaos. I'm not even going to say what force me with you.
All right, always. Have a
What
good
the
one,
fuck
guys.
was this episode?